BWF Solicitors, we take pride in our clients' service. As a niche law practice, we are conscious of the demands of our clients. We always offer a friendly, listening ear and sympathetic attitude. We've worked with thousands of people all across the UK in all areas of personal legal services. We have received great feedback and reviews from our clients. We are located at Seven Sisters in Tottenham on the 4th floor of the Anna House, right on top of the Victoria Line train station for your utmost convenience. We have a friendly office and provide all of the refreshments necessary while you wait to see a lawyer. We are dedicated to our clients and have a successful record of serving our clients. Solicitors of England and Wales are of high quality and are bound by the highest professional standards. We are officers of the court and are bound by standards of integrity, competence and conduct as part of our responsibility to uphold rule of law. Our solicitors and lawyers care about your case and are committed to providing the best possible service to you in the most considerate and careful manner. We hold 2 Law Society quality marks. Law Society accreditation helps to demonstrate that we have attained the requisite standard in the area of law and have the requisite expertise. BWF Solicitors, we're here to help you with your legal services when you need us.
Victon Estates provides professional and reliable service to landlords, investors and tenants. Our mission is to ethically and honestly serve our clients. We won't make promises we cannot keep, rather. We present a clear picture of the reality we can offer. We are here to help you with long and short-term let, property management, cash buyers for quick sales, stop repossession and mortgage arrears. For all your property needs, look no further. Visit us at www.victonestates.co.uk or call us on 07448619711. Victon Estates, your property is our pride.
Hello. You're welcome to Heritage TV, hanging out with Vicky. If you've just joined us, it's a legal hour show with BWF Solicitors. Our sponsors are BWF Solicitors, Victon Estates, and Eagle Heights International School. If you want to contribute to the program, you can send your questions via our Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and all our social media handles. I would like to take this opportunity to wish Ghana a happy 64th Independence Day, hence our background, today. Today is dedicated to Ghana. So I wish all Ghanaians a happy 64th Independence Day. I would also like to wish Mr. Foster Okai a happy birthday. He's one of our top fans, always watching our programs, and he sent us a message to wish him a happy birthday. Today we are talking about how to become a sponsor. If you are a business or company, how to become a sponsor with the Home Office. And with me today is our learned lawyer and partner of BWF Solicitors, lawyer Eunice Achampong. Hello, lawyer Eunice.
Hello, Vicky. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well by God's grace. Loving the background.
I exactly, and I can see you are also in the mood for Ghana's, independence celebration.
Of course,
proudly Ghanaian and proudly African.
I am so Ghanaian. I think everything about me is Ghanaian. I remember I was in school one time, and this friend of mine said to me, "You are in the way that a show of your Ghanaian is." I said, "Yes, we pray for more of God's grace upon our people and for good leadership as well. So today we're wishing Ghana a happy Independence Day. And there's also my cousin that I grew up with, Nana Prempe. He's also celebrating his birthday today.
Whoa,
So it's a good day all around. We
double
are praying for more
celebration.
of God's wisdom and blessings over his life. So yes.
Oh, happy birthday to Mr. Prempe. Happy birthday. I tried to, with our traditional kente, because we are, based in the UK, you don't get to wear our traditional outfits, only for
Yes.
special occasions. So
Yes.
today when I was getting ready to come on the program, I said, okay, let me try one of my kente clothes. Oh my goodness, due to COVID, staying at home, I couldn't fit in. I couldn't fit in the clothes. So what I did was just, make do with my, kente chair.
Yes. It looks fantastic. It stands out brilliantly.
All right. Lawyer Eunice, today's topic. What is some sponsorship license for the purpose of today's topic?
Okay, so thank you so much, Vicky. And sponsorship
Okay.
licenses, mainly for today's program, has to do with the fact that if an employer or a business or a company who is based in the UK is seeking to, for any reason, sponsor an employee or an
Mm,
individual to come into the UK to work or to work for their company whilst in the UK, they would
yeah.
need to apply to the Home Office or they'll need to apply to the United Kingdom Visa and Immigration Service for sponsorship license in order that they
Mm,
can also sponsor an employee to come into the UK or to work for their company whilst in the
okay.
UK.
Mm,
Without the sponsorship license, unfortunately, they will not be able person to work for them in the United Kingdom, and usually to go through the route of applying for that license before they are given the permission to basically sponsor any person whatsoever to
mm-hmm.
work for their company if that person is not a British citizen, for instance, or is not a person who has leave to remain in the UK. So most companies, most employers, businesses, which also include charities as well, will be able to apply for this sponsorship license so that they can also sponsor somebody to work for them whilst in the UK
Okay.
or invite the person to work for their company.
Okay. Okay. So can any business or employer in the UK apply for the land? Should it be a business or let's say if you are running your own business as self-employed, or should it be an organization, a business, to qualify
Okay,
to apply?
so it can be any business who believes that they have employment for any person looking at the UKVI or the government's list of occupations, they should be able to offer a job which is within the
Mm-hmm.
government's list of occupations code, where they
Mm-hmm.
believe that because of the job that they are offering, they would need a sponsorship license if they were to, for instance, request an employee from outside the United Kingdom to come and work for their company. So, if, for instance, a company as small as a charity, let's say a charitable organization like Oxfam, is
Mm,
looking for somebody to be able to come and work in the United Kingdom as maybe an operations manager. And they are saying that because of So sorry.
Oh, we've got a guest. The star of the
This is
show.
my little boy, Master Oliver. Master Oliver,
Oh.
say hello.
All right. Let's say hello to Oliver. Hello, Oliver. Hello. Very cute. Oliver, we thank you so much for allowing Mom to come on our show every Saturday. Every Saturday, we thank you so much. Yes?
Okay, Oliver, let's go.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is the Legal Hour with BWF Solicitors, and today we are talking about if you are a business or company applying for sponsorship, as a sponsor with the Home Office, and we have our learned lawyer here, lawyer Eunice Champon, who is also, a partner and a solicitor at BWF Solicitors. So, Lawyer Eunice, over to you. We're talking about whether a business, any
Yeah.
business can apply to be a sponsor on the Home Office database.
Okay, so I was even given an example, for instance, of Oxfam. So it's a charity, and then they're saying to the Home Office that they need an operations manager. And if
Okay.
for any reason um, their operations manager occupation or job role is listed on the government's occupation code list, then of course they can register their company, which is a charity, as a sponsor, such that when that role becomes available and they need somebody who cannot do it within the UK, then they can offer that job role to somebody who is outside
Okay.
of the UK, or somebody who is even within the UK but international immigrants, or let's say somebody who has foreign origin. So of course, if they are saying to the Home Office they need that operations manager, then they can register as a sponsor on the Home Office list of sponsors. So it includes charities, it includes businesses that are small, even self-employed businesses.
Wow. Okay.
Any school which is voluntary aided is considered a charity as well. If they have a foundation or a trust, or they are an academy, they can also be considered as charities, and they can also register as sponsors. Any, let's say, company that has a corporation that can also register as well. Public companies, companies that are insurance companies, banks, all these groups can all register if their job role that they are advertising or they want to give are roles that they believe is on the Home Office occupation list. So as long as it's within the Home Office's
Okay.
occupation code list, then they can offer that job to that person, obviously, who they think will be suitable for that role. So a lot of companies will fall under this, and they categorize it as large and small companies. So a large company, for instance, will be a company that has turnover of over 10 million. A large company will be a company that has over 50 employees. A large company will be a company that usually will have an end balance of more than 5.1 million. So
Okay.
those that are below will be the small companies, and those that are above, the ones that are considered to be large companies. So it's in a way, any business whatsoever can register for a license, as long as the job role that they're offering is within the occupation list of codes that the government have said can come as skilled workers or can work in the country as skilled workers.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what are the costs involved in applying for this license? Does it vary?
Yes, it does. So I was saying that there are the large companies and then there are the
Yeah.
smaller ones.
Small,
So of
smaller
course,
ones.
they consider the incomes that are coming and they give, should I say, the smaller companies a subsidized fee. So, for
Okay.
instance, if it's a small company or organization that is applying for the license, that is usually around £536 to apply for the license. If,
Okay.
for instance, the company is offering jobs for those that are skilled workers, which we would usually call a tier two work visa, or they are offering a temporary role as a temporary worker for somebody who is, for instance, under tier five. All of those will be considered if they are whether a small company, a large company. So if it's a smaller company which meets the category of a skilled worker, for instance, they will be paying that 530. And then a large company who is looking to bring somebody as a skilled worker or even somebody who is a temporary worker, that fee will be a lot higher, which is about £1,476.
Mm.
And so for yeah, and so for that company, that 1,476 will cover that license fee that they will be requesting for. And there's also something that they call an immigration skills charge. So
Mm.
depending on the number of employees that the company itself wants to should I say sponsor, that immigration skills charge will be paid for each employee. So if within a year, for instance, we have um, 5 employees coming as sponsored employees to the company because of the fact that they need those roles to be filled, then of
Mm.
course that company will be paying that skills charge for each employee that they are going to be employing throughout that year. And so, of course, the employer has to bear these costs in mind as well. And because they are going to be sponsoring somebody who is a skilled worker, we should also remember that they are going to have to pay that person a salary, which they should also keep in mind has to meet the salary threshold or the labor market rate for that particular role. So, for instance,
Mm.
if I'm saying to myself, I'm a catering business and I'm offering a job role for caterers, and I've said to the employee or whoever I'm willing to sponsor that you will be paid at least £24,000 a year. And then I look at the labor market rate, which maybe is 25,000. If that 25,000, the threshold that I'm offering of 24,000, it's not equal to, or I have not looked carefully at whether that job role that I am offering, I am allowed to subsidize that role. If the person I'm offering the role to maybe is a graduate and they are now enrolling or they are now coming into the job market, then I will have the excuse of paying that person 70% less of that job market rate.
Okay.
If
Okay.
not, then it means that I am shortchanging that particular employee,
Particular
and that
employee.
would
Okay.
mean that you will not be able to give them that sponsorship license because you have to meet that salary threshold that is needed in order to give that person the job that you said you are offering them. So not only are you paying for the application fee and the immigration skills charge, you're also having to meet that salary level that is necessary for that person to be able to be offered the job that you say you're going to offer them within your
Mm.
organization as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Lawyer
there are
Eunice.
different
Okay, go
costs.
on.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there are different costs, obviously, to keep in mind as well. And obviously, if you think that you are a small business and you're not sure how to deal with the cost, then I would say, of course, deal with your accountant. Let them see how your figures are looking, and then see how best you can um, you can go about it. Of course, once you apply for the license, you know that the license is there, and
Yeah.
once of course you want to sponsor somebody, then the other cost will come in. But you can apply for the license, and then as and when the job role vacancy becomes available, then you can think about the other cost.
Mm, Laura, Eunice, you were talking about, the big business and the small business. Now, someone might be asking, what makes a business a small business, and what makes the other business a big business, if you understand. My thinking is any business that has 50 employees or less is a small business. Am I right?
Yes. And then if they have
Okay.
a turnover
Okay.
of more than 10 million, that will obviously make it a big business. And if their
Okay.
end balance on their accounts is over 5.1 million, then of course that's a big business.
Okay. Okay. All right. So how long is the license valid for? Once granted, and is there anything that can cause the license to be, cancelled?
Yes. So usually once you apply for a license, it's usually valid for a period of 4 years.
Okay.
And within that time, because there are certain demands by the Home Office, by the sponsor, which is the UKVI, that means that
Mm-hmm.
if there are certain things that are not being done by the particular organization or that employer, the license can either be revoked, it can also be surrendered by the company itself if, for instance, they are no longer trading or they've become insolvent. Then of course that license can be surrendered. Or if
Okay.
previously they applied for a license and they were refused, of course
Okay.
that would mean that be given license in the first place. But in terms of responsibilities, most companies, if they want to apply for a license, will have to be able to show that they have the right HR team within the organization to be able to also carry out the duties that they have to play. So if the Home
Mm,
Office sends to you that you have to keep a record of all documentations of each and every employee that you sponsor,
employee.
and we have to keep a copy of their passports and their status and all the rest of it, record whether they come into work and when they don't come into work. And if they don't come into work for a period of time, then it means that you have to report them to the UKVI. You have to,
Okay.
yeah, you have to make sure that as much as possible that your authorizing officer and your the key contact person is the person that usually liaises between the company and the Home Office, that everything that needs to be done in terms of granting that person a sponsorship license, that they are giving them a proper job role. It's not a fake job role. So it's to be
Mm,
legit, that
okay.
you're giving them a job, giving them that every
Okay.
job specification that you have given to this person is being done. So if for any reason you fall foul of this, your sponsorship can be revoked. And they also do checks on
Okay.
the authorizing person within the company, the key contact person, or the
Mm,
level one user. They do background checks on
yeah.
them. They check if they have any criminal records. They check to see if they
Wow.
haven't been in breach of any immigration laws, or they've committed any immigration offenses. They check to see if they are bankrupt.
Mm,
So they check all of these things,
mm-hmm.
and if they fall foul of any of these things, the license can either be refused, or if later on they find out that after the license was granted, this is what has happened, then of course they can revoke the license from that particular organization or that particular employer, because they have fallen foul of these name laws, criminal laws, or they become bankrupt, or for one reason or the other they have had immigration issues. So there are certain records that employers have to keep in place if they are willing to sponsor any employee, and if they are not keeping their responsibility in check, then it can be that one way or the other, when the Home Office gets to find out, they will revoke that license from that particular employer or organization.
Oh, right. Okay. Is there a limit on the number of licenses that can be granted?
So yes, the Home Office has a limit on the yearly amounts that they can take. So
Okay.
it's over, I think it's over 20,600 applicants or sponsors that they can take a year. I mean, there's always more adding to the number. If you go on the Home Office list right now, you have over 39,000 organizations listed as sponsors who can sponsor any category of worker, whether it's a tier 2 skilled worker or a tier 5
Yeah.
temporary worker, or a religious leader or a religious worker. You have every kind of organization there. So there's a limit, or there's a cap of I think 20,600 that can apply as sponsor each and every year. So they are looking obviously to have organizations of different kinds apply to the sponsorship license list, so that as many people as possible can have the opportunity to be able to also apply to the scheme, whether it's under the tier 2 or tier 5 route. They can obviously make those applications, and hopefully as many companies as possible will also sign up and take advantage of the opportunity that we have now. I wouldn't say
Oh,
it's going to
okay.
last forever, because things change all the time. So let's take it, and let's grab it and make use of
Grab
it,
it.
so that it doesn't,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't it's not taken out of our hands just as we are about to make use of it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, what is the length of visa? You know, the giving you the visa, then the employee the visa. What is the length, and does it depend on whether you are skilled or unskilled employee? Was
Okay, so in terms of sponsoring an employee, usually there is a visa, should I say, limit of 3 years, or if you want to apply for 3 years or more, it will depend on the contracts that you've been given. So if the employer is saying to you that we're willing to offer you a contract, which is a 3-year contract, then of course that 3-year contract will be listed on your certificate of sponsorship, that we're offering this person the job role of operations manager. We are giving it to them on the basis that they will be working for our company for a period of 2 years or more, or 3 years or more, and therefore we want this person to be given a salary of so and so amount, and the rest of it. So it will state all these criteria on the sponsorship license, including the company's reference number as well for the Home Office. And so once the sponsorship, the certificate of sponsorship has been given to that employee, they will then know which visa to apply for, whether to apply for the 3 years visa, or to apply for the more than 3-year visa. So if it is such that they are going to be working for that company for 2 years or more, then of course they will apply for the 3-year visa. And with the 3-year visa, obviously the application fee for the employee will be different from somebody who is paying for the 3 years or more visa. And usually, based on whether the person is applying within the UK or outside of the UK, the price obviously varies. So you can have
Okay.
somebody who is applying for a 3-year visa paying just over £700 for the
Okay.
visa if they were outside, and then somebody,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, if they were inside the UK, and then somebody who is
Mm-hmm.
applying from outside the UK will pay just over £600. So it varies
Okay.
depending on whether they are in or outside of the UK. So yes, the certificate of
Okay.
sponsorship will tell the length of contract, and that will be the basis for which the person will apply for the visa.
Oh, okay. Lawyer Eunice, I wanted to know if, let's say, the employee is given 3 years minimum, is it renewable? And let's say for a period of 6 years, will this employee finally be given settled status?
Okay, so if they were given 3-year visa, of course they can apply for an extension or they can apply for a renewal of their work permit visa. Of course, when you look on the Home Office website as well, it gives you the application for an extension of a work permit visa. So if you meet the same requirements as before, so you should be able
Mm-hmm.
to, as an employee, you should be able to have a certificate of sponsorship. So the employer should be willing to give you or grant to you a certificate of sponsorship, which will state categorically the job role, how much you be paid, what the job specification is, and then of course have their reference number and the rest of it. So if you have been granted a certificate of sponsorship, very good. You also have to make sure that you are still meeting the salary levels that they expect that you should be meeting as
Okay.
well. And
Okay.
if you've previously had to do the English assessment, which is to show that you can meet the English language requirements of a level B1, then of course, yes, you can apply for an extension of that work permit visa that you hold. And if you were granted another 3 years as an extension, after a period of 5 years, you can apply for settlement within the UK. So you don't even
Okay.
need for the next 3 years to be up because you've done a
Okay.
previous 3 years, and then 2 years in addition to that will make the 5 years. So after 5 years continuous residence, then of course you can
Mm-hmm.
apply to settle in the UK as somebody who has worked in the UK lawfully.
Okay. May I also know that suppose provide any documents? Is there any threshold on your financial status? This goes to both the okay, this will be for the employee. Then the second question is documents that the sponsor will have to provide to the Home Office. So first, the employee. Is the employee required to provide certain documents? Should should there be a threshold on what his or her financial status to be able to apply under the sponsorship of the company?
Okay, so for the employee or the person who is applying to that organization,
Mm,
usually all they need to be able to show, like we were discussing on last week's program, they need to be able to show that they meet a required skill level. So if the
right.
job role that they're applying for is saying that, well, we need somebody who has a required skill level of a level 4 or a level 5,
Mm-hmm,
then it means
mm-hmm.
that they need to be able to produce a required qualification level of a level 5 or 4 to be able to apply to that job in the first place. So if they're, for instance, they are outside of the United Kingdom and they were now to apply to this role, Then the assessment that needs to be done will have to be done in terms of whether the company can show that their qualifications. So, for instance, they've attended senior secondary school, for instance, and they are applying to that job role. Senior secondary school qualification level will not be a level 4 or 5, so that will
Okay.
disqualify them in the first place. So they
Okay.
need to be able to have a certain required skill level to be able to do the job that they are saying they can do. And everybody knows that a university and a graduate degree is a level 6 or more. So
Okay.
if you know that you have done some sort of undergraduate degree, whether it's in or outside of the United Kingdom, at least you'll be able to meet that required skill level that they need or they
Okay.
want. If the employee as well can also show that they meet the English language requirement of a level B1, usually the ISOL examination or IELTS will be a good way to meet that standard B1 that they are
Standard.
looking for. Or if
Okay.
they've already taken an undergraduate degree, they can have it NARIC assessed to say that the university degree that they have meets that required level B1 that they are looking for. And then, of course, the employee will need to be able to show that maybe when they first come, because it is not a given that the employer will be able to maintain them in the first month when they arrive in the UK. So the employee
Yeah.
will have to show that they have more than sufficient funds, which is over £1,200, to meet that maintenance for 1 month before they are able to get their
Okay.
pay. So
Okay.
of course, the employee will have to show certain things. And if they're coming from outside the UK, they need to do the TB if they're from a country where there's high risk of tuberculosis, or they will also have to also show that they have a criminal record certificate and that they haven't been a criminal who has maybe found wanted at any point in time. So all of this will have to be brought by the employee before the employer or organization can decide whether to take them on. And for the employer, the organization, if they are looking to see whether that employee is fit for the job, then of course they will need to do their own assessments as well and see
Okay.
whether that person will be eligible for that job role.
Mm.
And like I said, the Home Office has a list of occupation codes. So if that
Okay.
job role falls into that category of occupation code, they can offer that job to that person who is applying. For the organization, of course, they will need to show that that employee has been offered the job. This is the role that they are willing to offer them and the salary that they are willing to give them. So all of this will be stated on the certificate of sponsorship that they will be willing to give to the employee. And as much as possible, when the sponsor is applying for the license, this is usually done, and that even before they can even think about sponsoring any person to come to the UK or to work for them whilst in the UK. So in that case, they're saying to the Home Office that they are a reputable company. So they haven't got any issues with criminal offenses. They have not been insolvent. They are not bankrupt. They are running as a normal company, and they have
And paying
certain,
their taxes.
of course, of course, of course. So if, for instance, the company is should I say, a catering business again, and that catering business has registered with HMRC as a company that runs maybe bakery services, and they've also said, well, they will have items that are vatable, so they need to register for VAT as well. They need to make sure that at least they have self-assessments done, and they can also show that if the company is making money, usually I would say that it's always best to have an accountant do your accounts if you're not sure of what you're doing. So it helps
Exactly.
when the accountant is able to do the company's accounts to show that everything is in order. So all of these things will be checked. So if you are somebody who is registered with HMRC, you have a UAN number, you will obviously have your registration done for VAT, so that obviously VAT can be deducted. They'll be checking all
Okay.
these things, whether you've been paying your returns. I mean, all the things that need to be done by you as a company, they would need to be able to verify it. Companies that, for instance, are regulated by bodies. So, for instance, a law firm, which is regulated
Okay.
by the Law Society, as long as you say that you are registered and you provide them with your registration number, they can do their own checks. If you're registered
Checks.
with
Yeah.
Companies House, they can go on to Companies House and just do their own checks on Companies
And
House.
checks. Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
registered with the charity in England and Wales or Scotland or in Northern Ireland, they can go on to their website with your reference number and do their own checks. So if you are regulated by anybody whatsoever, they can obviously take the registration number and then do their own checks from there as well. So then it means that the only other thing that will be providing to the Home Office will be at least 4 other documentations to be able to show that you meet certain requirements. And some of the things
Requirements. Okay.
include your annual assessment done by the accountant. It can also include the HMRC self-assessment as well, your UAN reference number. It can also include things like, for instance, having a company's agreement. So some companies will have an agreement, association of agreement, or something of some kind to show that these are the people that are directors within a company and this is what the company stands for and the rest of it. So depending on the company or the organization that it is, there are certain lists or certain requirements or certain documentations that you will need to prove to the Home Office for them to offer you that license. But it should be at least 4 documents, not many at all.
Oh, okay. Great, 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 great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is Heritage TV, the Legal Hour show, and we are discussing businesses and companies applying for sponsorship with the Hope Office. And I have with me here lawyer Eunice Achampong, who is a solicitor partner at BWF Solicitors. We'll be happy to hear from you if you have any questions. Please send those questions to us via our social media platforms, and we'll be able to read the question to lawyer Eunice. This program is sponsored by B Solicitors, Victon Estates Limited, and Eagle Heights International School. Lawyer Eunice, I've got a question here for you. This is from Akwesi. He says, I own a care home and I'm usually in need of healthcare assistants or workers due to the demand and quality of care we wish to provide. How can I go about applying for a license? I think we've discussed this, but for the benefit of maybe he wasn't,
Yeah.
with us when you took us through the documents, the company sponsoring will have to provide.
Yeah. Yeah. So in somebody like Kwesi's case where he owns his own business, is impromptu sometimes, and I want to be able to apply for a license such that I can easily and readily grant employees who are even outside of the UK the opportunity to come and work for my business.
Yeah.
In this case, if he's applying for that sponsorship license, first and foremost, like I said to you, the Home Office will tell you they have to make sure that you're somebody who has not committed any offenses whatsoever, you haven't had any immigration issues whatsoever, and you can show them that you haven't been insolvent or bankrupt at any point in time.
Bankrupt.
These are all checks, yes, that they do. And they would need a list of your job roles, or a list of the job roles that you think will be vacant within your company. So if these are the job roles that you have in your company that you think will be vacant, and you would think you would need people who would need to be sponsored, then they would need that list of job roles. If you are a company that is a head company and you have other branches underneath you, they will need a list of all your subsidiary companies with their names and the addresses. And he will also have to be able to show that as much as possible, the people that will be the authorizing officer. So an authorizing officer is the person that will basically be dealing with the day-to-day, should I say, sponsorship of other employees. And then you have the key contact. So the key contact is, as I said before, the liaison person, that person that liaises between the company and the Home Office. And so those people as well will also be background checked by the Home Office if he were to apply for a sponsorship license. He has to have those people, should I say, readily available. He can choose different people to occupy that role, or he can choose one person that will be doing all those roles. As long as that person is a competent person and hasn't got any criminal records whatsoever, then of course that person who that company has chosen to be the authorizing officer and liaison key contact person will be the person that will be making sure that every responsibility of the company in sponsoring that license is done to a standard. And at any point in time, the Home Office can also choose to come for a visit. They call it compliance visit. So if it is his first time of applying for a license, they may choose to come and visit. They will request for a visit to the organization to come and see how things are being done. They can assess if previously they've had to sponsor somebody to come and work for them, and they can ask questions which they previously would have had in mind to ask the employer, and make sure that things are going to be done to the standard that the Home Office would like. So within that compliance visit, they can check these things and make sure that you have the authorizing officer and that key person that they need to be able to do the role that they need you or that person to occupy. So once they've done, I mean, sometimes they don't even come for a visit whatsoever, especially the company that they've actually had on their sponsorship license and they haven't had any issues whatsoever. They will not come for a visit. So they can also, I mean, they can bear that in mind that they could come for a visit as well. And then in terms of the responsibilities, obviously, once he has those authorizing officer and the contact person, which is the key contact person, then they would have to make sure that they are recording things to the standard that the Home Office would prefer. So usually the sponsor, who is the company or the employer, will be the one to provide the Home Office with the documentation. So he has a care home. He has to make sure that he's providing the Home Office with the registration number, because maybe his care home is registered with the care quality service within the UK.
CQC.
So they need to be able to provide that reference number to the Home Office to make sure that, yes, indeed, it's registered and they are up to date with all the necessary requirements to register as a care home. Yes. And then, of course, with any business whatsoever, there will always be a registration with HMRC to make sure that as much as possible, your documentation with HMRC is on point. So you can provide, yes, you can provide the UKVI with documentation in terms of your registration with HMRC, which is your UAN, your self-assessment. If you have obviously done self-assessment, which you should have done for the previous, you have copy of that self-assessment and that you're paying the required amounts, your tax returns. If you're a vatable company as well, that you are also registered as a vatable company. And then as much as possible, I mean, different associations and organizations may have agreements, board of directors. It depends on what his company has agreed to do. So if they are registered with Companies House, they will also look at their registration with Companies House as well. So there are different documentations that he can provide in terms of his registration with the UKVI as a sponsored person on their website. And if he's able to provide those documentations, then of course they will also do their verification checks and then look at the company as a whole. If they have other branches as well, they will also verify all of those other branches as well and make sure that everything is up to scratch. And once the documentation has been assessed and verified, they can go ahead and look at the application that has been submitted and whether the correct fee has been paid towards the application. And once that has gone through, they will be willing to grant I could see the license that he needs to be able to sponsor other employees from outside the UK if the need be. So of course, like I was saying, he will need to also make sure that he is continuing with his responsibility after he's been granted a license, and that means that the key person and the authorizing officer will have to keep record of all employees, keep record of their going ins and their outs, and whether they coming into work. And of course, they have to make sure that they have a record of the documentation from these employees as well. And if they themselves, as a company, have a change in circumstances, so for instance, they've changed their address, or they've changed the role of their business, or they've merged with another company, then of course they need to be able to show the required documentation that they've changed these things. And because they've changed these things, they will need evidence to show that there's been a change of circumstance, which is another application in itself, that they will have to show that there has been a change of circumstance within the company itself, and therefore they are informing the Home Office of their change in circumstance to be able to reflect correctly that they are still within the required sponsorship criteria, but A, B, and C change, and they are willing to inform the Home Office of those changes.
All right. But Lawyer Eunice, how long does how long does the application take from putting an application and receiving the license? How long does it take, the duration?
So the processing time is not too long at all. It's supposed to take roughly 8 to 12 weeks. But let's put it in context, because we are still COVID times. So
I know.
you have on the government website, it will say like 8 weeks, and then you will be waiting and you are thinking, I thought it said 8 weeks. So
8 weeks.
because we're still in COVID times, please allow for that extra time, because you will see it on the government's website saying one thing, and
Yeah.
then practically it will be something else, and you're just thinking,
Something
but you
else.
said this.
Okay.
Yes, but
Mm.
they aim to work within their standard time. So let me just put it that way. They aim to work within their standard time. So even if it doesn't come within that time, just please allow for them to get back to you in terms of you being granted that sponsorship license.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've just tuned in, this is Heritage TV, the Legal Hour Show with BWF Solicitors, your number one solicitor firm, dealing with conveyance and immigration issues, anything regarding law. Just contact BWF Solicitors. Lawyer Eunice at the end of the show will give her details. So you need, to see her or discuss any concerns you have regarding immigration or any other law requirement. You need legal advice. Do not hesitate. Contact Lawyer Eunice and her team, and they'll be very happy to help. This program is also sponsored by Victon Estates Limited, your number one property company. If you need your property to be managed, if you want your property to be sold, you are in mortgage arrears, look no further. Contact Victon Estates Limited. You can fill in a contact information form on their website www.victonestate.co.uk. And lastly, our other sponsor is Eagle Heights International School, your number one extra mass tuition center for children ages 7 to 18. So if you want to contact the team, the number is 074 I beg your pardon, 075 43 707121. Lawyer Eunice, are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Lawyer Eunice, I just want to also know, how long can a business be in existence to apply for the license? Because you made mention some documents that are mandatory to be, submitted with your application. So I was thinking, regarding your taxes, your tax history, certain documents that you should, be able to provide from the HMRC. So I'm just thinking, if, for example, the company has been in existence for only a year or under a year, how long should a company be in existence to qualify to apply to be a sponsor?
Okay, so what I just mentioned, some of the documentation may vary. So depending on
Okay.
how long the company or the organization has been in existence, of course, if they've been in existence for just 1 year, they wouldn't have HMRC documentation apart from the fact that they've registered. Because
Okay.
once you set up as a company, you will register your business, or you will register that company or organization with the relevant body. And especially if you are saying that you're going to be running as a business, then you would register with HMRC as well. So that will in turn give you that UAN reference number that is UTR, sorry, that UTR
UTR,
reference number
you're
that
right.
UTR reference number that you need to be able to provide to them if the need be. So, of course, if you've been in existence for just a year and you have other documentation, so not just the fact that you've had self-assessment done, you
Okay.
may not even have an annual accounts report.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There are
Okay.
so many items on the list of documentations that you can provide, that even
Okay.
if you haven't been in existence that long enough, you can find something that will add or that will benefit to the application that you have made. So they need at least 4. If your organization is registered to a regulated body, of course, they would be able to look at that without you providing that document. So that in itself is one documentation. And then the
Okay.
other document, once you look at their table list, depending on the kind of organization that you are, you can provide other documentations from the list of documents that they have said you can provide. So if for any reason you've had a look at their tables and you think, oh, I can only provide 1 or 2 or 3, then of course seek legal advice.
Mm. Okay. Lioness, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
All right. Wonderful. Yes, I can hear you clearly. Okay. Lawyer Eunice, with this kind of application, can one do it by themselves, or you can, you know, ask a solicitor like yourself or your firm to apply on their behalf? Is it possible? I mean, is it
Yes,
straightforward? Because somebody might not be very confident to be able to, understand um, some of the things that is being required on their websites. So I'm just wondering the other option, if you can, ask a solicitor firm as you to apply on their behalf.
of course. So these are some of the services that we can also provide, because some people
Okay.
might find the application process very cumbersome. If you don't have the time
Mm-hmm.
and you are thinking this is just way too much effort, then you might as
Yeah.
well ask for help, ask for that support so
Okay.
that we can
Mm,
obviously do it on your behalf. If you're a
mm,
company, and especially a company that's a large business, will always ask for solicitors to deal with it, because there's just too much going on for them to be able to do it themselves. Whereas a small business or a small organization will think to
mm.
themselves, maybe I should um, get the time to do it. And even that, uh, because you're a small business and you're doing everything yourself, you may not have the time
Yourself. Yes.
to do it yourself. So you obviously need the assistance of a solicitor to help you with the application process. So of course
Mm,
we
mm,
are able to provide that service of applying on an organization's behalf so that they can also have that registration done and become a
mm.
licensed sponsor, so that they can also offer
Okay.
those opportunities to other employees
Okay.
who need to also come and work in the UK.
That's great news. Great, 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 great news. Okay, Laura Eunice, unfortunately, our time is up and we have to end the show. So could you please do us the honors by providing your contact details for anybody who would like to make contact with you, if they have any further request or need, clarifications on certain things that has been discussed today.
Okay, so as Vicky said, my name is Eunice Champong, and I do work with BW Solicitors. We're situated in Seven Sisters, which is in London. Our address is the 4th floor of Anna House, 214 to 218, Tottenham High Road, and the postcode is N15 4NP. So N15 4NP. Our offices are still open from Monday to Friday, and we are open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340. So 0208 493 7340. And my personal contact number is 075 35813910. So 075 35813910. And we do offer a whole a lot of other advice apart from immigration. We deal with family issues, we deal with family matters which involve child arraignment orders or non-molestation orders or occupation orders, divorce. We deal with some civil litigation matters. Unfortunately, we don't do conveyancing, but we can try and recommend conveyances to you if the need arises.
Oh, Lawyer Eunice,
So
I thought you do everything.
we would love to do everything, but we are so great with our niche space or
Oh,
expertise that we
because
try as much as possible to be the best.
you guys have won so many awards, so I thought it's a one-stop shop for any legal issues.
I know most people say that, and then they'll come to us, can you do our commercial contracts? And then we're like, we wish we could do that, but we will designate it to somebody who is more specialized in that area rather than us. So yes, we
Thank you
deal
for being
with other
honest with
areas
us.
apart from immigration, but not conveyances. So I want to be honest on that one.
Oh my days. Thank you so much, Lawyer Eunice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
So, as
you.
Lawyer Eunice has mentioned, the list of services that they provide. I must apologize for also adding conveyancing, but she's made mention they can recommend, another solicitor firm to handle your conveyancing as well. Let me please acknowledge some of our viewers. I'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in, Temitope. I also like to say thank you for joining us as well. Anumorigba Onwoluwa. Please pardon me if I didn't mention your name rightly. And also Toluwalase Ayowade. Thank you so much. I've read all your comments. If I wasn't able to read your comment, please forgive me, but we do appreciate you for, being part of the show. All too soon, as you know, our time is up, and we'll have to end this show. But you know what? Next week, another topic. Oh, Oliver is trying to tell you time is up. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, have a lovely weekend. We will see you. Oliver. Hi, Oliver. This is your moment. Will you say hi to our viewers? Oh. This reminds me of this reminds me of a BBC interview with one of our ministers. And I think while doing the interview, the kids just barged in, and it trended for weeks. So I'm hoping this will trend as well.
Yeah.
So Eunice, thank you very much. Your family needs you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend. Our regards to your family. Ladies and gentlemen, until we see you next week, happy Independence Day to Ghana. They are 64 years old today. I say happy independence to every Ghanaian and also every African. We are all one. Take good care of yourself. Please observe the government guidelines on COVID. Protect yourself, sanitize your hands at all times, cover your face with your nose and mouth with a mask, and keep washing your hands at all times. You to stay alive. Take good care of yourself. Stay blessed. We love you. See you next week, same time. Bye-bye.
BWF Solicitors, we take pride in our client service. As a niche law practice, we are conscious of the demands of our clients. We always offer a friendly, listening ear and sympathetic attitude. We've worked with thousands of people all across the UK in all areas of personal legal services. We have received great feedback and reviews from our clients. We are located at Seven Sisters in Tottenham on the 4th floor of the Anna House, right on top of the Victoria Line train station for your utmost convenience. We have a friendly office and provide all of the refreshments necessary while you wait to see a lawyer. We are dedicated to our clients and have a successful record of serving our clients. Solicitors of England and Wales are of high quality and are bound by the highest professional standards. We are officers of the court and are bound by standards of integrity, competence and conduct as part of our responsibility to uphold rule of law. Our solicitors and lawyers care about your case and are committed to providing the best possible service to you in the most considerate and careful manner. We hold 2 Law Society quality marks. Law Society accreditation helps to demonstrate that we have attained the requisite standard in the area of law and have the requisite expertise. BWF Solicitors, we're here to help you with your legal services when you need us.
Victon Estates provides professional and reliable service to landlords, investors and tenants. Our mission is to ethically and honestly serve our clients. We won't make promises we cannot keep, rather. We present a clear picture of the reality we can offer. We are here to help you with long and short-term let, property management, cash buyers for quick sales, stop repossession and mortgage arrears. For all your property needs, look no further. Visit us at www.victonestates.co.uk or call us on 07448619711. Victon Estates, your property is our pride.